Welcome back, everybody, to the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham, and I have my co-host Luke Timmons here with me today. And it is a beautiful, frosty day here in Minnesota. It is negative, probably 15 outside, maybe colder. I don't know, but it is cold. But it's a good day to record a podcast. So, Luke, how you doing?
Good. It's great.
Staying warm?
Staying warm. It was like 40 yesterday down here.
It's a wild swing.
Yeah, and now I've other than to let the dog out a couple times this morning, I haven't been out, so it's gonna be mightily cold.
It's
so cold that this is, I think, the first time, and feel free to fact check me, but the first time since Reagan that an inauguration will be held indoors because of the weather.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild one. I mean, like there's a lot of theories that are out there to why that is. But we'll
hold on. Let me get my tinfoil hat on down.
Well, we'll keep that off this podcast. But yeah, it is bitterly cold. It's cold enough that Copper and Honey, I mean, you know those guys, but they are notorious in and outers. That's what Nora calls them now. She's like in and outers. Because she's our little workhorse that just opens the sliding door on our deck and lets the dogs in and out. And it took Copper about a whopping, 4 times before he figured out. He's like, yeah, it's really cold outside. I don't want to be outside anymore. And he's a snow baby. He loves the snow and the cold. He would sleep on the deck if he could. But I was like, you cannot sleep outside tonight. That would be bad.
It is too darn cold for sure.
Yeah. But it's, you know what? If you're sitting in an ice house with a heater on, it's not too bad. But
no, yep, absolutely.
I'm not doing that.
No, same. No, it's kind of a chill little weekend here, and then, it'll be fun. It's kind of, the off season's always tough, but I think today, like the main reason, kind of wanting to get together. We got some pretty sweet guests lined up here for the next month and change. So we're going to kind of get a 2025 goals episode done here.
Yeah, no, I think this is a good one, and it's funny. It's not like we forget about episodes. It's, we run into weeks where we have, I would say 6 weeks planned out for guests. And sometimes we have, we just want to, it's kind of fun for us. I feel like sometimes where we can kind of spitball and just kind of, have a conversation together because we talk all the time, outside you'd think we were a married couple for how much we probably talk to one another, but it's kind of funny because we'll stop ourselves mid conversation, be like, I don't want to hear it. Save it. Let's talk about it on the podcast. So it is kind of fun when we can get some episodes like this, but I think this is a really good one. It's been a really fun year. I think I could speak for you, Luke, that we've learned a lot.
Absolutely.
It has been rewarding. It's been challenging. Like we kind of queued this. We just had our 2025 goals meeting probably a week and a half ago, and we're kind of just jumping through and like trying to execute them now. And it'd be fun to share with you guys kind of what our hopes and aspirations are. And yeah.
I mean, I think it goes kind of without saying is like whatever goals you have, it starts with you. So it's like you got to like make time, carve out that time to take care of you. And I was actually running on the treadmill yesterday at the gym, and I'm notorious for just throwing on like an hour and a half worth of David Goggins, and just because I absolutely hate
who's gonna carry the boats.
Yeah, and I absolutely cannot stand running on a treadmill. I'll do like a mile and I really feel like I've been on there for 10 miles. I'm like, it's just boring to me. Like that's where it's like, I'm an outside runner for sure. But
are you a stair climber though? Like the Stairmaster?
No.
I like that. I don't know why. For me, like, and I'm just too afraid to bring and I know everybody I shouldn't say I know everybody. I feel like I know everybody at my 5 a.m. workout now. Or who's in the gym. So I doubt anybody's going to steal my Mystery Ranch pack, but I always kind of wig out about like leaving a $350 pack, chilling on a rack somewhere when I'm working out, and then want to go, rock with the stair climber.
I have done that before. When I had a membership at the gym in town, I did that a handful of times. Is just set the treadmill and climb to 15 and send it with the pack on.
It's fun.
Yeah, but no, anyway, so like where I was getting at is there was a quote he said at the beginning of this video, and it says the purpose, or he said it, the purpose is always there. It never leaves us. You are the purpose. And I thought that was really good. And it got me thinking about this Bible verse I was reading the other day too. And it's Colossians 3, verse 23 through 24. And it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving. So I think it's always important to, like, obviously it's mid to late January here. We're recording this, so maybe a little off our new year, new me stuff. But I think it's important to always just kind of hit that reset button at the beginning of the year and say, okay, I'm going to reassess, sit down with yourself, pray about it, just kind of like, this is what I want to get done this year, large scale. What can I get done? And, this is something that we did with the podcast too, last week and this week is, okay, where are we going to take this thing? What can we do to grow it? And so it's always good. I think you got to have goals, but then you also have to like have those check-ins like we do with the podcast, but with yourself, especially, like, okay, a month ago I said I was going to do this. Well, did I do it or did I not do it? So it's kind of one of those things where you got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure your engine's running smoothly so you can, go fight those other proverbial forest fires. No pun intended.
No, 100% on that. And
yeah.
It's kind of funny. You think about it, and this is such an interesting time where we're middle of January right now. So shout out to those people that set goals, if it's fitness goals, if it's goals, just personal self, that you're sticking to them. Cause usually I think, what is it? The second week of January is like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like quitters. It's like quitters week or something like that, to where, most people kind of give up on their goals already. But if you, pushing through that and getting to that point, like, like for me, was the big thing. I wanted to get back into working out in the morning again, and not just for like reasons of personal health. It was more or less, I wanted to get back into just a better routine for my new job, for family life. And, for me, working out's always been kind of a core root system that just, I'm a better dad, I'm a better person, etc. if I can work out. And for me, I just felt like I didn't have the time when I was doing it in the afternoon or the evening to really spend time with my family. Go pick up the kid at 4:30, you go work out, it's supper time, have supper, and you're probably getting ready for bed, and the day's over. And I just didn't feel like I was getting enough time. So I started getting up at 5, and I was thinking about this a little bit the other day, and it took me a while to get back into a habit of it. But I don't think it's in the Bible or anything. It was just something that kind of came to me. But I think it's such an awesome opportunity getting up early in the morning, and early is different for everybody. But for me, like, I try to get up every day between about 4:45 and 5. And I know you used to be, and maybe you still are, like super early grinder. Like, you would get up early.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that, and I've got it written down here, is that I really think it's not a treat, but it's a blessing to be able to be up before the hustle and bustle of the world and be able to give your first thought to God. I think that's a cool bit of where it's like, your first thought, it isn't, I'm going to scroll on my phone. And it takes discipline to do that. Like, I'm not going to scroll my phone. I'm not going to go make breakfast. I'm going to spend 15 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is, and I'm just going to pray. And I think there's some power in that, to where, it's that first thing of the day that is going to start my day off right, and trusting him that he's going to have my back throughout the day, and just kind of starting that first thing out with prayer. So that was the first thing that took me a while to kind of like get ingrained in my head, was like, hey, I need to, just before I do any of this, I just need to sit and pray in silence. It's quiet in the house, and typically no one's awake at 5. And I don't know, I just think it's a great way to start your day. But that was kind of one of my first disciplines that I wanted to really try to get ingrained in my head for 2025.
But there's no better way to start the day. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
one. Not to steal it. No, I mean it's yeah, I mean it's true. I think it's like anything, you have to be intentional with your what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's becoming, closer with Christ or, you know, shedding that little bit of that winter fat that was packed on, or, just getting back in shape
Yep.
or whatever it is. And that's kind of the reason behind doing this pod here today is, just kind of laying out those goals. And then, you know, end of December, we can look back and say, all right, what did we say we were going to do? And we get her done?
So what are some of your maybe personal business, podcast goals for, maybe yourself or for us as a collective? Like what are some of the ones that you want to run through?
Yeah, I mean, for the podcast, it's kind of easy. Is just grow it, continue to grow. And through that, we get to meet a lot of sweet, cool people. Just not even doing this a year yet, we've met some awesome people, and it's I can't wait to see where this next year takes us. And there's already some things going on right now that would never have guessed would happen, and they are. So it's it goes back to what you were just saying is starting your day off on the right foot and thanking the Lord for another beautiful day, and that's what we get to do with this podcast is thank Him that we get to try and spread His good word and all that. But I think for me, personal level, I want to get back out to the Black Hills. Got some unfinished business out there. So, do a little bit of turkey hunting out there this spring. And then, as far as training goes, just I have I signed up to do a 24-hour run. So
Good for you. Wow.
yeah, so
That is intense.
yeah, it's each year I try and do something that I know it's gonna suck and I know I'm not gonna like it, but it's those things that keep you mentally sharp. And so yeah, it's a 24-hour run. I think it's September. So
Okay.
I always say
So you
I got
got some time.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm not just gonna.
But I
do
suppose
that in
a
month.
race like that, is it meant for an ultra runner to go through and you are just trying to not, or is it more personally up to you as long as you're just running for 24 hours?
You could run 3 miles, you could run 100 miles.
I'm going to set a number for you. Are you ready?
All right. Yeah.
I think it's going to be harder than you think. I want you to do 2.6 miles. So you're gonna have to like calculate each step you take.
Yeah. that'd be too easy. Yeah. So
do you have a number in your head you think you're gonna be able to hit?
I think somewhere around that 75-mile mark. We'll see.
Kudos to you, brother.
Yeah.
That is I will not be doing that, but that's awesome.
Yeah, I did the 50K 2 years ago, and that was fun. It wasn't as bad as I thought, even like the, recovery afterwards didn't, wasn't too bad. You got your blisters and your whatever you want to call it, aches and pains, but it's all part of it. And I think if like it's just those things that mentally challenge you and just push you a little bit harder to step outside your comfort zone and kind of conquer that inner voice saying that you can't do something. So
100%.
I always like doing something like that every year. And then probably going back out to South Dakota this fall for archery. Still got some unfinished business there too. So
get her done.
We'll see though. I mean, this fall, and then I could. It's like every time I start talking, I get to do something new. It's definitely want to get more or do more waterfowl hunting from the canoe this fall.
Okay.
Got out a handful of times this last year. And I loved it. It was so fun, getting in the spots where nobody else really can get to unless they had a canoe or a kayak or something. It's kind of cool. And you get a little bit of that aloneness, that tranquility, especially with the dog, is just getting away from the, like we always say on here, just getting away from the hustle and bustle of life and getting out in God's country. So I think those are probably the main ones. Just, we'll see what shakes out with those, but definitely it's gonna be a fun year. We were kind of talking about it last night. Just texting back and forth is like, it's pretty cool where things have already gotten to with this podcast and just some some things we got going on and some plans that we've got some, ways to grow the podcast, but also some sweet, cool content stuff. So I think 2025 is going to be a big one for us. I think it's, in my head, I think it's the launch pad.
Yeah. And, we kind of went into this with the podcast. I would say we had, I don't want to say a pipe dream because it wasn't, because I knew, just kind of going into it that this is something that's going to take time. And I don't know what the timeline is. I don't, we both agreed that the mission that we're trying to do with this is greater than any dollar value or any notoriety or any fame.
1,000%. Yeah.
And we're still so far away from that. But from the context of like, it's been so rewarding to hear back from all of you people that are listening. Just like that feedback alone is enough motivation to keep doing it. I think we'll make a very special episode on our 50th episode. We've done more than 50 episodes. I don't really know what that, I don't know what that number's at. It's a lot, but we've made it a goal to do a podcast every week. We only took 1 week off, and that was, I think, Thanksgiving.
Christmas or Thanksgiving, one of those two, yeah.
I think it was Thanksgiving. We took a week off. And we had an episode, but we just didn't. It was just nice to take a week off and spend time with family. But kind of going off your goals, those are some really, really good goals, and I'm kind of right there with you. Besides the ultra marathon, I am doing something similar though. You'd be proud of me. So first off, fitness wise, this is we have a trip to a beautiful paradise with all of our family next Christmas, which I'm super, super excited for. So
is that this year, 2025?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been on a kick for probably the last 2 years, or 3 years really, ever since we were in Costa Rica last. That was kind of a hard time. It was just after Dad passed and stuff, but no excuse. And I looked at myself. I think my brother told me, he's like, "God, you're fat." And it was the greatest thing ever, because it was actually, I think I was going to give him a pair of like $250 pants. These King's XKG pants that were like brand new, didn't fit me. I was like, "Hey, do you want them?" He's like, "Why don't you just lose some weight?" I'm like, "Okay, that's a motivator."
That. Yeah.
So ever since then, I've been getting myself back into shape and kind of put that in the forefront, and I'm getting really back into it now, where it's like, all right, well, I'm going to do my best to get in the best shape I possibly can. Not just physically, but mentally too. And I'm challenging myself this year to do a lot more rucking. I'm very lucky that I have a lot of coworkers that really enjoy to ruck, so I'm going to try my best to ruck with them. But I am doing a triathlon or decathlon. What do you know? Triathlon, a swim, run, bike. Yeah. So we have one that's local in our neighborhood every year, which is small. It's small. It's not like 3 miles. It's nothing crazy.
How far is the swim?
I think it's like it's not 3 miles.
Okay. I was gonna say, holy.
It's a decent swim though. I'll look it all up. But anyways, it's something that's completely out of my box. I would never ever. I hate running. I hate doing. If you put me on a line like football again, like, hey, we're gonna go do sprints. Great. We want to go play basketball or go play football for like 3 hours. Great. But to say that, hey, you're gonna go run 7 miles. That sounds terrible. So I would gladly rather go hike with the pack on and do 20 miles in the backcountry of the South Dakota hills than run. But so that challenged myself to do that. So I'm going to start training for that. But really, I mean, my focus and shift this year is kind of different because, we're very blessed. And that's one of my goals is to have a healthy baby and keeping faith and all that stuff. She'll be born in June. And, my fall and my spring is going to be really, really different. I'm not going to be able to travel as much as I probably did in years past. And I'm kind of taking a step back, which is kind of, from all the memories. That's why this fall hunt for me this year in South Dakota was kind of bittersweet, even though I didn't get my deer. Because it was like kind of passing the torch to my brother, who's just really getting into it now. And it's like, dude, you are so young. You can do this hunt for forever. You can do any hunt, you know?
Oh, right.
But for me, I'm probably going to be, if I draw a rifle tag, I'll be pretty ecstatic because I think I'll be able to swing a 3-4 day rifle hunt and be back home. But we'll see if I draw that or not. South Dakota wise for turkey hunting, probably not going to happen. I was much as it wishes it's going to be a tight deadline with baby. So I'm going to make my goals kind of just the really narrow, and like I had a lot of fun with it this year, roving around on public land. So my goal is I want to kill a turkey on public this year. I know I've got the very good access on private land to do so, but I'm going to try to kill a turkey on public, which I've only done South Dakota, so it'd be kind of fun in Minnesota. I've got a bunch of good spots, so that's kind of my number one goal. Number two goal for hunting would probably be to kill another stud buck, but on the farm. So I'm going to try to put a lot of time this winter and spring into the farm, and a lot of that's going to be coming into I'm going to be playing a lot of cordon this year because I don't think I'm going to have as much time as I want to get down and put green food plots in and do all the TSI manicure work that I normally would. But kill a big buck, either local up here in Brainerd. I'm going to really try to get dialed back in with the inner city bow hunting, just because I think it was 2 years ago I ran a ton of cameras in town here and just didn't have a lot of high success. And then after this year, having 170-inch whitetail in my backyard was pretty humbling.
I remember when you sent me that picture. It was
knowing I couldn't shoot him was pretty hard, but knowing that he probably lived like a half a mile away in a piece of public that I could have hunted, and I just didn't have time. So those are some of my goals, and then if I like I said, if I get lucky enough to draw a South Dakota tag for rifle, definitely going to try to knock that out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going to try to be more present with my family this year. Obviously still going to hunt and all that good stuff, but some of the other things that, we're working on now is, and we haven't really even announced it, but we are doing a short film on your dog, Rogan, and you, which is pretty fun. So that's kind of my goal, is to get in a better habit of producing cool media pieces. And I think that's something that, it's not just for me, it's for you too, that we are going to personally make it a goal too, that we're going to try to get out more content to you guys outside of the podcast and outside of reels, more in-person blog style stuff. And then we're going to try to drop at least 1 or 2 cinematic short films that, we'll submit off the festivals and stuff like that. And, the bit that we're doing on you and your dog Rogan is pretty awesome. So I'm very excited for that one to come out and for you guys to watch it. Hopefully in maybe the next 2.5 weeks, we'll be able to drop a trailer for you guys and drop the film in a month and get that sent off to Badlands and a couple other festivals. And those are kind of just my short, midterm, long-term goals. I like it. I don't know, as much as I wish it was a lot more focused around getting cool hunts done and stuff. I am pretty thankful to have the opportunity of another kid on the way. So that's going to be a fun ride. And I get to learn from you and from everybody else that's got multiple kids of how life functions.
Yeah, it's always interesting. Like anyone knows, like with kids, you just never. I feel like it's literally something you learn something new.
Yeah,
on being a parent every single day. I think, and especially when they're this age, because it's like those little personalities are all over the map, and so sometimes it's like, which version of my boys am I gonna get this morning? And this morning, knock on wood, I mean, Jen's got him right now downstairs. I haven't heard any screaming, so
that's good.
So far, so good. But no, it's so fun, man. I was talking with Liam yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, Friday. After picking him up from preschool, he's like, we drove past this spot that we pheasant hunted a few times with Noah, and he's like, "Could we go pheasant hunting today?" Like, as much as I'd love to, I'd be like, I can't. It's out of season. But getting him back out in the turkey blind, That's, we have some, speaking of unfinished business,
Yes.
getting a turkey. We'll have
to get the kids together again. I was going to say that's kind of piggybacking off you. That's probably my biggest one will be to get, it'll be my excuse to go hunting too, but like to get Nora back outdoors. Cause same thing, like when we were home last time filming those last little bits for your film, Nora, you weren't there, but Nora's like, God, Dad, can we go? Yeah, same thing. Like, can we go shoot pheasants? I'm like, yeah, it's out of season. I mean, we can go look for them.
We could try to go flush one, but yeah, that's about all you can do. I don't even know if that's legal. Technically, if you're,
I bet you it's probably not.
Yeah, but it's something. I think it's like it's a weird, not weird stage, but like it's a different stage where you're going from I can hunt whenever I feel like it. I got to be strategic with my time to get out, but then it's also being strategic with that time that you're already trying to be strategic with getting your kids involved too, because I'm not gonna force something on them, but I'm also I want them outside. I want them involved. I want them, if someday they decide, they want to hunt, then that's, I look at that as a success for me. So
for sure. And like, I couldn't break it to Nora last night, and I don't think she would have eaten it if I would have told her what it was, but she was, we were having a phenomenal meal when we were eating. So the little life hack for you guys, if you go through meat really fast, just take, and if you have a freezer that's full, take your favorite cuts of meat. If that's tenderloins, back straps, if that's T-bones, whatever it is, like, we always get a quarter or half beef every year. I will shove them into a place within my freezer that I can never grab them unless it is like, I really want a steak. So like last night I was like, I want a T-bone. So I like dug it out, trying to think what her name is, tried the air fryer method, freeze it. Have you heard of that? Where you throw a frozen steak in the air fryer and it comes, dude, it's perfect. It's
really
crazy. It's Jordan Peterson's daughter. What is their name?
Oh, Michaela, or is it Michaela? Something like that.
She talks about it and she's like, yep. She's like, don't put any seasoning on it. Throw it in the air fryer at 400 for 20 minutes and it'll come out perfectly medium rare every time and spot on. It was really amazing. Yeah, crazy.
Sounds crazy. It is so crazy.
It is crazy. But so anyways, so did that. Awesome. Nora was having that and some rice and she's like, Dad, is this deer? And I'm like, yes. Because I think if I would have told her it was beef, she wouldn't have eaten it. And she's like, oh, this is so good, Dad. She's like, so It's like, it's funny now where she's like wanting to experience that with me and, enjoy venison, which is good. I'm glad she likes it. Hopefully I don't know, knock on wood, she continues to enjoy that. But it's those are the little things where it's like, all right, we're doing something right. So
yeah, they always let you know a little bit in little ways.
They also humble you.
It's real quick,
very quick. Dad, why didn't you shoot a deer? It's like, oh yeah,
that's like
I'm bad at hunting.
Like twice with Liam. Yeah, that's twice with Liam. Turkey, with a paraglider incident. And then
that's hilarious.
Completely whiffed on one and on a doe in the blind with him with a shotgun of all things this year. So it happens.
I still have those shells if you want to relive that moment.
No.
That's another PSA moment for guys out there, and this is just shows that we're busy dads, or maybe we're just I'm forgetful, I guess sometimes, but. If you have not soft shell blinds, like pop-up blinds, make sure you take them down before snow comes because they get frozen in the ground and then winter comes and then they get crumpled. Like these poor Barnett blinds, shout out to Barnett because they're bulletproof, but like they've gone through 2 seasons now that have been collapsed, ice dams built on them, and they're still rocking and rolling in the spring. So we have 2 blinds. I've got a blind in my backyard right now that is frozen to the ground. And then the poor blind back at the farm that's in the destination food plot is just it's not in shambles. It'll be recoverable by spring, but it is not in an ideal spot.
Yeah, man. Life happens, you get busy, but you just gotta maintain the course and keep moving on. So it'll be a fun year. I mean, like I said, we've got some really cool stuff going on already. Some things we got planned, and so it'll be fun to see where this thing takes us this year. So
yeah, and if people are wondering too, I think off season. This is kind of a weird one because it's kind of our first off season outside of like I guess summer. that we had, but it was, I think more or less like episodes to expect from us. Like we've got some pretty awesome ones lined up here for the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
But we probably will do maybe a couple ice fishing ones. It's really not our forte. I love the ice fish, but it's not like I am not an expert by no means. But anyway, I know we're lucky enough to know a couple of people that are pretty darn good at it. So we'll probably have a couple of people on. I know we've kind of already missed the bell cow on that one, but probably do a little bit more habitat stuff and kind of have some more off the wall type people that maybe aren't relative to necessary fields that I think are just going to be awesome people to sit down with and have a conversation. But tell you what, man, before you know it, it's going to be
fall.
Well, no, I was going to say spring. We're going to be chasing turkeys here in like 4 months.
4 months, couple months.
Yeah, like 3 months, even sooner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then I guess another one too is I really want to not get back, but do more trout fishing. I did that a handful of times. I got Liam out a couple times, and he absolutely loved it. And it's kind of, especially like when you go like spring and early summer before the weed growth gets really high, it's like kind of perfect opportunity to go out with, kids, like young kids, because you don't have to worry about being in a boat. They're right there next to you, just kind of walking around, getting outside, catching some fish.
God's country, man. I'm right up there with you. We usually try to make it at least once or twice together a year, but we should try to make it a goal to get down for opener. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be like last year. It's gonna fly right by, and
it's gonna go by fast.
It's gonna be busy, but yeah, it'll be good. It's good stuff.
No, it's good, and like once again, we just want to thank everybody that has listened, that's contributed. We, like I said, we're a year in now, just about, and it's been awesome to see the growth that we had, and we hope to double that and triple that. I mean, like once again, like our whole mission is just to reach people, inspire them, hopefully give them some wisdom if we have any to give. And some of the guests we have are a little bit better than us in some different facets of life, but just being able to share the word of God, that's our number one goal. And if we get to have a cool conversation about hunting and fishing at the same time, even better. But yeah, we just want to thank all of you guys. It's been a fun ride, and we'll probably wrap up the podcast. We'll see you guys in 2026. We're going to take a year off. And
quick sabbatical.
We're gonna take a quick sabbatical. No, but I do think this is a good spot. We can probably close out with a prayer if you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I got the wild, crazy morning here, but I can run with it here. Dear Lord, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for this year. Thank you for being with Luke and I, and with all of our listeners and all of our family. And we just pray that you bless us this year. Bless us this year, Lord, and that you are with us, and that we put you first, and that we can walk with you and trust in you, and that you're going to take us down the paths that you want to, and knowing that you are the one and you are the way. And we just want to give all the glory back to you, dear Lord, and give you all the thanks. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Awesome.
Well, you know what? I think this is a good spot to let you get the training outside for your ultra marathon. If you're not out running in 30-degree weather, are you even carrying the boats? So
30-degree. It's
negative 30
-12
degree.
right now. I feel like
that's not too bad. We're very lucky. I don't know about back home, but it's not windy. That's nice.
It was super windy last night, but that's probably only because the front was blowing in.
Yeah. And say if it was like whipping today, cold, like wind, it would be freezing.
Gnarly. Yeah.
This is like Minnesota acceptable, I would say, like even right now still. Like we've gotten to that point in winter where it's like, yeah, it's not that bad.
Oh, speak for yourself. I'm done. I would take 2 feet of snow over the bitter cold with no snow, because we have no snow. So it's like, at least with like snow, if it was like 25, 30 degrees with like a foot of snow, at least you can go outside, you can go sledding with the kids and else. It's like when it's this cold, you can go out with when they're this young,
Yeah.
4 and 2, you get
Yeah.
outside for like 5 minutes and then they're
Cold.
frozen.
Yeah.
I'm frozen. So it's like,
I
I would
don't know.
take lots of snow over a bitter cold and no
I'm
snow.
like both ways. It's like a ice fishing paradise right now though for people, because like there has been little snow and it's been freezing cold and we just been building ice and building ice and building ice. And now we have a little bit of snow, so you can get a little bit of traction out there with your truck. But yeah, I'm kind of right there with you too. It's like some fresh powder would be a lot more welcoming than like this is sad note. I mean, we'll wrap up the podcast here, but we haven't even built a snowman yet because we haven't had the right snow yet.
No. Yeah, we went sledding once and it was like patches of snow when we went. So
fun.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff. Well, guys, thanks for listening. And Luke, you'll have some fun stories. So maybe you can, you'll have some fun stories to tell next time we hop on the podcast. So
yeah, we'll leave it at that. It'll be. I'm super blessed. Without going too deep into it, super blessed. I'm thankful. It's going to be a pretty fun next few days here for me. And like you said, we'll recap it on the next one.
Yep. Well, guys, thanks for listening, and see you next week. Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.